Hello, my name is Claire, and the algorithm has taken you to the best channel on YouTube. So please, stick around. First question of the day. Who knocked over my dragon fruit? I guess we'll never know. I did want to show you something special though, friends. So when we moved into our place, there was this pot of sticks sitting next to our vegetable patch. So I just started watering it because it started to get a few leaves, but I wasn't sure if it was just leaves coming up from the plant, the old plant, or if it was a weed. But then it just bloomed. Now I have a beautiful hibiscus. Did not see that one coming. So yeah, never give up on your mystery pot of sticks. There's a lesson in there somewhere. Hi friends, my name is Claire and this is my channel, Woodshed Theory. Here I make videos about what it's like to live as an adult on the autism spectrum and whatever else feels good to me. So if that sounds good to you, or if you're feeling particularly gracious today, and I hope that you are, please go ahead and click the subscribe button, ring the bell. I set myself a goal of getting to 600 subscribers by the end of the week. I set it on Tuesday. That's not a lot of time to get there, but I have faith. 3 times a week I make videos, I do. Today we are going to talk about something I never thought that I did, and I just wanted to talk through it because I do. So here we are. So that thing is stimming. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you have definitely seen me rocking back and forth while I speak. That came as a surprise to editing, Claire. I'm just telling the truth. I did not know that that happened. When I was getting my autism diagnosis, the doctor made a point in our first meeting to mention that I wasn't outwardly stimming. Little did I know that I had just learned to mask it and hold it in as much as humanly possible to be able to get through my everyday life without seeming too weird. But when I think about it, I do stim, and now that I know about stimming and how important it is to the autistic community and regulating our emotions and behavior, I have let myself stim more whenever I'm feeling like I need to. So what is stimming? Well, stimming is regulatory behavior done by someone with ASD or not, but it is a big part of being on the spectrum. You may know some stereotypical stimming behaviors, for example, rocking back and forth or flapping one's hands when getting overexcited or jumping up and down. Those are the stims I think most people think about when they think about stimming and autism. But what I've learned since being diagnosed is that simulatory behavior can really be anything that makes you feel more calm, more focused, more in touch with yourself. So I did not realize that my note-taking in life was a huge stimulatory behavior for me. I've always found it hard to pay attention and to focus while someone was speaking to me. So my solution to that was always to take copious notes. It didn't matter if I was on the phone for work, if I was in a lecture. I was trying my best to pay attention by focusing all of my energy into replicating what was being said as succinctly and as accurately as possible, because I was afraid that I was going to forget what was said or miss something. Which, if you are ASD, you probably totally understand because social interactions are very overwhelming for us, and I do forget things that people are saying because I'm focused so hard on the other parts of the interaction. So I didn't realize that the consistent writing, keeping my hands moving, and focused on that task was a stimulatory behavior to get me to slow down, pay attention to what was happening, and retain more information. Now I say notes, but it really looked like anything. I used to doodle, cut paper, anything that I could be doing with my hands to keep them moving, keep my mind moving while a person was speaking. It's definitely something that I have done since I was little, all the time, and I realize that other people don't do that. It's my stim. Another stim that I noticed, and I mentioned this just before, I did not know that I rocked back and forth while I spoke. And it's only been since making videos that I've noticed this behavior about myself. And when I watch myself speaking on videos, some part of me can't believe it. How did I, like, now I can like feel it, right? Because I'm noticing. But when I start looking off into space and thinking and talking, I'm a rocker and I didn't even know it. Rock on! But yeah, rocking while I speak is a stim that I do, and I just didn't know that I did it until I started making videos, so good to know. Another stim that I have that developed later on in my life, within the past few years, would be head shaking and bobbing. So this one's a little bit embarrassing for me because I know that it's the most outwardly autistic stim that I do. But when I get nervous or overwhelmed, I just let that energy out through shaking my head. And I say that I let that energy out, but I don't do it on purpose. It just, I get nervous and I start shaking a bit. I say that it's embarrassing, but I'm not embarrassed about being on the spectrum or necessarily about stimming. But what I do know is that it's not a normal thing for people to see. And I don't know how people react to me doing that. So I still try not to do that in front of people if I can. But I have noticed since I've stopped holding in that behavior around people I trust, friends, my spouse, it is helpful for me in the moments where I'm feeling overwhelmed to just let that out. So I'm kind of wondering if this has been the experience for other late diagnosed people. Did you not know that you were stimming? Do you have stims that you weren't aware of? I admit that when I was getting my diagnosis and the doctor was asking me if I could think of any stims that I did, the answer was no. But then the more that I thought about it, for example, he asked me, not in the same terms, but was there things that I said over and over again, like echolalia? Was there things that I repeated over and over again because of the way that they sounded or that they felt good? But the answer to that is yes. I do that all the time. I say the same things over and over, almost religiously. Or at least I did before this doctor brought it up and made me feel self-conscious about it. But what have I learned from learning about stimming? I've been hesitant to talk about stimming because I didn't realize that I had stims. And I'm going to say something honest. It kind of makes you feel, if you feel like you don't have that big part of the ASD diagnosis, if you feel like that's not very evident then it causes me to question my own diagnosis. Like I'm not autistic enough. Because some people have more outward stims that other people can see, and that makes it feel like they're more legit. Whew. I'm talking off the cuff here, people, so I hope that you get where I'm coming from. You know, I just have a fear. Everything that you do in your life seems to have these societal check marks that I've always been, you know, trying to get checked off to become a neurotypical person. So now that I know that I'm not, anything where it makes me question that I'm not is scary for me to talk about. Where do I go from here? As far as where I go from here with stimming, I would like to continue to be myself and to be mindful of the stimulatory behaviors that I'm doing and that feel good to me. And it may be that I discover that there are other stimulatory behaviors that help regulate my emotions, and I want to be accepting of them. I am 187.5% sure that I am on the spectrum. I know that I am. And I'm not going to let the fact that I don't do a ton of outward stimming gatekeep me from a community that I feel so connected to and I feel such a strong connection to, because we're all different together. Every one of us has different stimulatory behavior that we use to monitor and regulate our emotions. And I should just feel okay with that. The more I learn about autism and autism spectrum disorder, the wider the spectrum gets, and that's fine. I didn't know I was autistic because I didn't fit a specific picture of, in my mind, of what an autistic person looked like or should look like, but I was completely wrong about all of that. So now, readdressing all of those things and looking at things like stimming, etc., I need to be more gracious to myself and more open to hearing what other people have to say. So I would love to hear from the viewers in the comments, what has your experience been? If you're a later diagnosed person, or if you're an early diagnosed person, do you feel like you don't stim? Did you discover that you stim in ways that you didn't realize? I'd love to hear this from other people, because I have seen in the community people mention this before. Like, I am not autistic enough because I don't stim or whatever. I don't feel like I have super strong special interests. I don't know. Whatever it is for you, do you ever feel like that? How are you getting through that? How does it make you feel? I'd love to know. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on Friday. Bye, guys.